Hello everyone, I am Engineer Kaman Khan and you are watching my YouTube channel Learners of Civil Engineering. Guys, today I will discuss values of D10, D30 and D60. What is the meaning of D10, D30 and D60 in civil engineering and how we can find these values. Then coefficient of uniformity values, coefficient of curvature values, and what is the significance of coefficient of uniformity and coefficient of curvature values regarding the gradation of soil. Now, D10, D30 and D60 values. For this, we will be needing a gradation curve which is drawn between person passing on y-axis and grain size on x-axis. Now let us find the value of D10 from that particular graph. The value of D10 means the size of soils corresponding to 10% passing, and the value of D30 means the size of soil corresponding to 30% passing, and the value of D60 means the size of soil corresponding to 60% passing. Now guys, what is the meaning of D10, D30 and D60? Let's suppose from this particular graph the value of D10 is equal to 2 millimeter. Okay, so that means that 10% of the material present inside the soil mix are finer than 2 millimeter. Okay, and 90% of the material present inside the given soil mix are greater than 2 millimeter. Similarly, for D30, 30% of the material are finer than 3 millimeter and 70% of the material are greater than 3 millimeter. Similarly, for D60, 60% of the material are finer than 5 millimeter and 40% of the material are greater than 5 millimeter. Now, how we can find the coefficient of uniformity and coefficient of curvature values? So coefficient of uniformity is the ratio of D60 divided by D10, and coefficient of curvature is the ratio of D30 square divided by D60 into D10. It is also known as coefficient of gradation. Now, what are the limiting values of coefficient of uniformity and coefficient of curvature for the well-graded soil? Coefficient of uniformity values. High values of coefficient of uniformity indicates well-graded soil. Okay. Now the question arises, how much high? Okay. Like coefficient of uniformity value equal to 10, equal to 20, equal to 30, equal to 50. How much high? Okay. So that question was answered by Casagrande in 1942 when he was giving the unified soil classification system for the US Army during World War II. Okay, he said that for clean gravels, the coefficient of uniformity value should be greater than 4. Okay, anything less than 4 for the clean gravels is known as a poorly graded gravel. Now, clean gravel means that there will be no silt and clay size particles, also sand size particles. Now, for clean sand, the value of coefficient of uniformity, he added that will be greater than 6. Okay. Now, coefficient of curvature values. Coefficient of curvature values in between 1 and 3 indicates well-graded soil. If the value will be greater than 3, the soil will be categorized as the poorly graded soil. If the value of coefficient of curvature will be less than 1, the soil will be categorized as the poorly graded soil. Okay. Now I'm having another information. In order for the soil to be well graded, it must fulfill both the above criteria, like criterion number one of the coefficient of uniformity and criterion number two of the coefficient of curvature. Let's suppose if a soil system is fulfilling the criteria of the coefficient of uniformity but not fulfilling the criteria of the coefficient of curvature, still the soil system will be known as the poorly graded soil. Vice versa, if the soil system is fulfilling the coefficient of curvature criteria but not fulfilling the coefficient of uniformity criteria, still the soil system will be categorized as the poorly graded soil. So in order for the soil system to be categorized as the well-graded soil, it must fulfill the coefficient of uniformity criteria and the coefficient of curvature criteria. Now guys, let us perform a practical example. So guys, it is the same graph which I have plotted in one of my previous video. You can watch it. The gradation analysis of soil and the Excel calculations is the title of the practical. Okay. So from this graph, let me practically now find the value of D10. Okay, D30 and D60. So the value of D10 from this particular graph is 0.9 millimeter. You can see this is a logarithmic graph. Okay, so this is 0.1 and this is 1. Now each subdivision is equal to 0.1 millimeter. Okay, so it is 0.9 millimeter. Then the value of D30 is again 2 millimeter, and the value of D60 from that particular graph is 14 millimeter. Now let us find the coefficient of uniformity and coefficient of curvature values. So coefficient of uniformity value is 15.55. Okay, this is a very good thing, because coefficient of uniformity values greater than 4 or 6 indicates well graded soil. I am happy. But now let me check the coefficient of curvature value. Oh, I am sorry. It is not fulfilling the coefficient of curvature criteria. Coefficient of curvature criteria for any soil system, it should be in between 1 to 3. Now you can see the coefficient of curvature value is less than 1. So I'm sorry, your soil system is poorly graded soil. Okay, so this is how we can manipulate the values of Cu and Cc, and this is how we can find the value of Cu and Cc and the value of the 10, 30 and 60 values from the gradation curve. Guys, if this video was useful for you, kindly like and share this video, subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will be notified on time when I will upload any future videos. Thank you so much for listening properly. God bless you.